Zarina, thank you so much for joining us. It's always such a pleasure to speak with a leader like yourself who's driving change and impact across the country, and it's truly inspirational. You have a very unique, holistic model of development, and we'd love to hear a little bit more about it for those that are still new to Swades and what you strive to do.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Ava, for having me here. I've read up about you and we know you. I know you for some years now, actually, I realized, and I'm very, very happy to be here, Ava. So, and thank you. And
amazing. Pleasure to have you.
It's important what you're doing. It's very important.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here. I hope I can inspire other young people and women to work in this field or in any field, because really It's not about the field. It's about how you work in what you do. Look at you, for example. You've done so much in the news business, and now you're doing this, which is your passion project, alongside your work, which is good.
Yes.
So let's start with Swades and your question on the holistic development.
Yeah.
I think, Abha, when we first of all, our Swades Foundation is about 8 years old. Okay. But we began in the villages in the year 2000. And at that point, we were called Share. We were a very small NGO because at that time, Rani and I didn't have that kind of finance or the money. And we really couldn't give it the time also. But once we divested UTV, we decided to, Ronnie told me these most inspiring words. I was actually joining Teach for India. You won't believe it. I was leaving Disney, though I had a job there. And I was joining Teach for India, and I had met Shaheen. And Ronnie says, let's lift 1 million people out of poverty.
Oh, wow.
I said, oh, wow, that is so crazy. That is like a crazy idea. I'm on. And then Shaheen came over in this room and sat and shouted at Ronnie and said, what? Why? I mean, she was going to join Teach for India. So, but that's the story.
And in fact, I've been on a walkabout with Ronnie, I think, in his Teach for India avatar. I think he was also...
no, he's not associated, but he's done
okay, no, but okay. So then I think I just
it's quite a funny story, so
okay.
But it's true, and that's how it began. I mean, and the first thing we did actually, Abha, knowing that as, media people, like, what do we know about poverty? It's a crazy idea done by 2 media people who know nothing about poverty or poverty education, right? Though we had done some work in villages and it came in very handy. So what we did, Abha, is we went for a study tour.
Okay.
1 year of study. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's 2012 and 13. Study. We met people, we traveled, we met communities, we met NGOs, and we saw some wonderful work. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Finally, Abha, we landed up at BRAC.
Okay.
Sir Faisal. I was starstruck by him. Starstruck. I mean, I took a picture with him. Can you imagine? I was so starstruck. Because his work and his vision and the way he's empowered people, and that was our inspiration, Abha. His work.
Okay.
Though the model is a bit different, quite different, but the inspiration is from him. And I always like to give that gratitude to him for inspiring us. So we designed our model, our Swades model, based on our inspiration from BRAC.
Okay.
First, we realized there's no silver bullet to poverty. Okay, that is one of the things that drove us.
Sure.
The next is that poverty is both mental and material, Abha. It is not just the lack of physical resources, water and roads, though that is important. But it's really the poverty of the mind that needs to be removed. And when I say this, I mean that it is the attitude, and it's extremely sad, that basically says, I have been like this and I'll be like this only. I can't change. There's no pathway. There's no glimmer of hope. There's no ray of hope to change. And it is the main thing that we as Swades Foundation work on.
Okay.
To build this can-do positive attitude in our community. An ownership. I can do it. I can make a difference for my own community. We really encourage volunteering within the community to drive change.
Okay.
And now we come to the holistic model. This was a pretty crazy idea, Ava, and I have to credit it to Ronnie. I resisted it because it was so hard and I was going to have to implement it. And I'm going, it's hard enough to do one thing. What are you talking about this holistic business for?
Right.
But Abba, really, it is the way to go. Because if you look at your own life, Abba, and if you go to a village, you'll see it. The lack is almost everywhere.
Sure.
So
sure.
what would you do if your grandmother was staying in the village, or your favorite aunt, you know, you love very much? This is the mindset I would approach. My favorite aunt is staying in this village, my food. What am I going to do for her?
Okay.
Am I not going to do a toilet? Am I not going to do water? Am I not going to do health?
Right.
Am I going to send my cousins to school?
Yeah.
What am I going to leave out? Am I not going to do livelihoods? These are our five.
Okay.
Water,
okay.
Water with a tap in every home, which is critical.
Right.
We've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Water, which is community run. Again,
sure.
Toilet, an individual household toilet, Abba. Again, many people said, but why aren't you doing community toilets? And I went back to my thing. I wouldn't want my aunt to my family. I wouldn't want it for myself. Why would I do it for my community?
Interesting. Yeah.
It is an individual. And I use those toilets. Okay, when I go, they're very nice toilets. Keep them very clean. Education for every child, health and nutrition, and livelihood. Those are the 5 pillars, the verticals of Swades.
Sure.
That is our holistic model. And Abba, it has a multiplier effect.
Okay.
So, for example,
because they become your ambassadors.
Healthy, it leads to health. You know, when we give water and sanitation, the ladies of the village can work. The girls go to school. So it's a huge, it becomes an ecosystem of change. That is why the holistic model is important.
That's wonderful. And it totally blows my mind because, you know, I can sense the gravitas when you're explaining it and describing it. And I think that the biggest challenge we have in convincing people to become a part of this change is this sense that somehow, you know, when they get involved via certain, you know, NGOs, and I'm not taking away from a lot of good work that a lot of NGOs do, but there's this, you know, that there's a sense that how do I know that my investment, whether it's time or money or whatever, is meeting the end goal. Yes. And that's what I wanted to ask you, not because I'm trying to, you know, get a sense of, I know that numbers are just numbers here. It's not that, but it's more about understanding impact, you know, and I think you spend a lot of time on ground, Zarina. Like you said, you know, you've spent 1 year just studying, right? And actually meeting people in villages, understanding the root problems. And this is hard work. So, you know, for some of our members who've asked me, like, how do I invest for impact? Some of them are industry leaders who are interested in CSR, for example, or CSR initiatives, but they want to understand impact. How would you describe that?
Okay. You know, it's a very good question. And Abba, there's nothing to be shy about. It's very important. We need to be able to measure impact.
Yeah.
But we need also patience.
Okay.
You know? And we need to also value the intangibles that come with the work we do. Work, it should be like that. It should empower. You need to check whether your work is empowering or it's creating dependency. That's the first thing you have to check. So everything we do and all the multiple mistakes we've made, Abha, we went from pushing our community to pulling our community. Pull them, bring them in. Okay, so this is one level. And I would really urge people to check whether that NGO is pushing, take this cow, take this goat. No. So we don't work like that. That's one very important aspect. And when we discuss community empowerment, I don't know if you have a question on that, or maybe you can discuss it.
Yeah, of course.
It's very important and vital. So this is the first thing you need to think. Is the community becoming empowered or dependent? If they're dependent, when you exit, you can't exit, firstly, because you will always have to be there because they're dependent. They don't know how to use the water structure. They don't know how to maintain their own schools. They don't know how to take care of their own health, and they can't continue their livelihoods because you never trained them.
Yeah.
So that's part one. Now you go to your individual projects. Okay. So in water, for example, we have, you know, given about 39,000 households water, but the key is, we charge the community a small fee, an affordable fee per household, so that they feel it's my project. It's mine. When you go to our villages, they won't say, yes, Swades ka project. You say,
okay. Got it.
See our village. Okay. Toilets, we've done 25,000. And when you talk about impact of water and toilets, the impact is vast.
Wow.
When a woman has a toilet, it's about her health, her dignity, and her safety. We need to understand, because, it's very difficult for us living in the city to imagine our life without a toilet. I have to get up at 3:34 in the morning, go to the toilet in the dark. There are snakes, there are scorpions. That's how they go.
Yeah.
When the sun rises, no woman would go to the toilet.
Right.
Can go only in the night. So can you imagine? I mean, it's health, dignity. So
100%. Yeah.
About impact, right, Abha? Yeah. So these are the so-called intangibles.
I mean, we complain about not having access to proper toilets in offices, in the sense, but imagine in your daily, everyday life,
Imagine every day of your life, you have to get up in the morning to go to the toilet. And as a group of women, we go together. So for our safety in case,
exactly.
What can I say about that? So this is what we also need to think about when we're saying impact.
Sure.
Education, we've done, 1,000 schools. But now again, what kind of education? And this is a real struggle, Abha. I am not really happy with even our own work in education, though we did it with so much passion and so much love and so much care and so much detailing. Education is a very difficult thing to get sustainable impact, okay? I mean, we train teachers to do a joyful and empowering education. We've done scholarships, which is one of my favorite, high impact, very high, a complete life changer for that child. When you have a scholarship to complete 10th and 12th and graduate.
Sure.
So that is something I really value. And I think the impact of that comes for years and years. The whole village will slowly change. So that is the impact of education, really. And if you can add a value-based education system, your world will change, which is something I really believe in. I believe in a world that needs to change. Health, we have 1,000 ladies who have volunteered free of cost to give service to their community. We've trained them every year. For years, we've been doing this. For years, they've been doing it. It's such a beautiful thing, that they go household to household to check the primary needs are taken care of. So we have thousands of them. We've done cataract surgeries, and we've learned with everything, Abha. We've made mistakes, and now we've learned, and we've perfected this model of development. How to make it better, how to deliver eye care in a village, how to deliver primary health care in a village, how to work with the government in certain aspects as well, how to work with partner hospitals. Another thing, Abha, that we do very well is we collaborate across the board. It's not just us. We can't do anything alone.
Yeah.
In livelihoods, now this is the most challenging. It's ironic that it's the most challenging. It's slowest the uptake is the slowest.
Okay.
And it's been so many years, and we still only reach 58,000 households in a massively impactful way. And they are sustaining today with us. We have reached double that number, but they stop after some time.
Why is that?
Year on year, you need to continue. It is that the can-do attitude and the aspiration is lacking.
Okay.
I'll just wait and let my son in the city send me the money. Why do I need my sister in the city will send me the money, So this is a thing. But when you talk about impact investing, Abha, it is very interesting. Now, to the best, I'm giving you the numbers to the best of they may not be entirely, foolproof, but it is internally audited, not externally audited. So I need to say that. But what we found is when you invest, our cumulative investment in livelihoods by the end of March 22 is going to be approximately 107 crores. Okay. This is yielding this year, therefore, potentially on an annual recurring basis, an income of 114 crores.
Wow.
See, now you're seeing what I'm saying. But they must continue. Now, I can't guarantee that because they're human beings. They may continue, they may not continue. But this year, we expect annual income of this in the communities that we have given this 100 crores.
Sure.
Over the year. But today, we measure it, and this is what we have found.
That's
We're so
amazing.
happy with that.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's phenomenal.
So now I'm going to get, I mean, we have external auditors. So this is audited, but it's still an internal auditor. Okay, now I want to get some outside person to come and see this. And if it works, Abha, I really think our idea is not just to lift 1 million people out of poverty. It's very difficult and we're nowhere near.
Okay.
We're still struggling and got a long way to go, which is very energizing actually. But our real thing is to create a model of development.
Okay.
And to tweak that model and research that model and then present it to others so that they can move forward as well. It's not to keep it for ourselves at all.
Got it.
Okay. So
So I do know that 1 or 2 members did sign on because they didn't want to wait for the recording and they did want to hear you. So I think Nandini also, who does a lot of CSR work at her own firm. So just wave or hi Nandini, and if you'd like to kind of jump in also, do let me know. With Zarina here. Yeah. So, Zarina, you'd said that you said collaborations are very important, right? Yes. Now, one of the biggest challenges must be, of course, working with the government or government partners across various states and communities. While we probably have improved, I mean, look, we have to take a look at improvement over decades. It may still seem very slow, but it's still probably better today than it was earlier. I'm assuming. At least it's become cool to talk about water and cleanliness and education. And
right. Yes. The cool, making rural cool is what we want to try and do.
There you go. Exactly. But where are we still lacking in terms of prioritization? Where do you feel a push would really help you to achieve that goal of hitting 1 million?
Okay, so it's not an easy answer.
Yeah, I know.
So how I thought about this question, and it's a very, very good question. And I think it has to be a thoughtful, patient, holistic, value-based approach.
Right.
And you need to ask yourself, whenever you do anything, actually, Ava, you need to ask yourself 3 simple questions. Why am I doing it? What am I going to do? And how am I going to do it?
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to answer these questions. Okay. So now, Ava, I don't want to seem idealistic, but I think it is time for us as human beings to pause and reset ourselves. Okay. The world doesn't seem to be going in the right direction. There seems to be too many problems, and I'm not a pessimist. I'm an eternal optimist. Okay.
Right.
But we need to take responsibility for the fact that things are not the way they should be. Okay. So I'm asking you, instead of chasing development, what is our idea? We need to question why development.
Sure.
Idea of development. And I recently interviewed a gentleman called Podial, Professor Podial, who actually, along with Dr. Sambhu Chetri, is one of the people who propounded GNH. I mean, they worked on it. They're king of Bhutan. I propose that we all consider something like that.
Okay.
GNH, of course, is gross national happiness. It was created by the king of Bhutan when he was a very young guy, very young man. In fact, ironically, he had come to Bombay and somebody said something about what is your GDP? And he said, we're not interested in what is our GDP. We want to ask ourselves, and he just said it that time, gross national happiness.
Right.
And what is happiness? It needs to be that. We need to think more holistically.
Right.
So that's one.
Okay.
Maybe more values-based, meaning ethical way of working. And you will ask later, I'll talk more about this.
Okay.
That's the why. Why? What do we really want from development? What is important to us as human beings? What do I want for my children, for my grandchildren? Ask these questions and then start designing your model of development. Then the what. What, I think, is clear. It needs to be holistic. Okay. It cannot be one thing is nice to have. I mean, there's so many. And whoever you ask, you'll get a different answer. Somebody passionate about roads will very correctly argue for roads. Somebody passionate about health will very correctly argue for, or education, or which one will you pick? I don't know to answer this question.
Okay.
Frankly, we couldn't, so we did a holistic model.
Okay.
And the how. Now, this is the critical difference. Comes back to the point is, are we empowering or creating dependency? Okay. So if we can do these all steps correctly, thoughtfully, collaboratively, in partnership, not aggressively competitive,
sure,
we can solve problems. We work with the community, we work with the government, we work with other NGOs, we work with partner hospitals, we can work with partner firms in across the array, but you need to have the right approach. So this is my answer to this: development and awareness. I do believe there's a lack of awareness, a lack of thought, a lack of, you're going in one direction. We need to question, is it the right direction? Is it time for a U-turn?
Right.
We need to go in another direction or with a different approach.
How can the private sector get involved in Swades and what you do?
So we have a really, really amazing partner donors who are really caring. For me, I don't like taking money from someone who's not willing to come to the village and see it first.
Okay.
First, they must believe in our work. They must value it. They must believe in it. Then only can they donate. Now, of course, we're in a lucky position where we can. So we don't stop our work, Abha.
Yeah.
We work and then we take money if it comes, but we work. I don't want to stop a person from getting water if I can help it, because I don't have a donor. But we have very precious and very, very like-minded donors. So the like-mindedness is critical.
Okay.
But later, Abha, you had this very, very thoughtful question: is what can the corporate world do for us?
Yeah.
And I think that relates over here. And you're right, it's despite the CSR laws. The CSR laws have been very helpful to this sector, extremely helpful, without which I think there's been a spurt in development because of this CSR. And it's also changed the mindsets of the corporate. Right. I found them changing their attitudes, and I found them using this CSR as a wonderful HR tool, sort of shared vision amongst the employees. They come and volunteer in the villages. It's slowly building a shift in mindset of what business should be.
Okay.
Is it only about chasing shareholder value, or is it something more to think about? Can I contribute to making the world better through my services? Is that my primary objective, or is shareholder value, making money, my primary? Because shareholder value is very short term.
Yeah. And scale. I want to come back to scale, because you're then impacting the lives of that many more people.
Yes. I think if the goal, the why of business changes, and you don't really need CSR, then the way business is done will naturally solve multiple problems, because the businesses solve certain problems, but they also create other problems, without going into details.
Sure.
And I think it's a basic thing that I question why I'm doing what I'm doing. Even if it's media, even if it's a news channel or an entertainment like UTV, why are we doing what we're doing? Is there a way to make this world better? Is the world benefiting? Is it of value? Is it something I would want for my children, for my mother, for my daughter? Because that's how we think. I mean, and widen our scope of love, then it's different. But this is how the corporate world needs to think if we want to see a positive change, a better world, which is, I think everyone dreams of a better world.
Of course. So now, what's the future looking like when you look at the next 20? You've been doing this for 8 years. You've talked about some, milestones and how things have evolved, how it could be at a faster pace, but whatever, we're getting there. When you're looking at the next 20, now, or I think that's too far, even 10.
Yes, and when in 20 years, I'll be 80 years old.
Years
old now.
Yeah, that's too far.
And it's going to be a little hard to go to the villages, but I still want to go if I can. I never want to stop working.
So sweet. Yeah.
Okay, so, so what I dream of is that we have by then, or let's say 5 years, created a model that truly works, is tested and embraced by others. Rather than doing on the ground, we continue to do, but it's not our main focus. Our main focus is to help it expand. See, one correction I need to make, because you said we're all India. We are not all India.
Okay.
And the reason we're not all India, Abha, is very simple, because we're trying to create a model of development.
Okay.
And so the model needs to be heavily monitored, right? It's like a lab. It's a large lab. It's 500,000 people that we're impacting.
Sure.
And we are building in Igatpuri now, in Nasik region, another 500,000. So in 2 years, Abha will have hit the 1 million mark, potential geography of coverage. Okay.
Got it.
But that's still not enough, because obviously, poverty is a vast problem.
Yeah.
So my dream is, while we work on the ground, we continue to improve our methodology and we work to present it to the world. And I say world, I mean anywhere where there are communities in rural parts which can use these principles that we developed, the house of everything. And I dream of like benefiting millions of people like that.
Sure.
That's what I
mean. So share with us some examples, Zarina, just of experiences that you carry with you or that resonate with you, because it's these moments that really make up,
it's
that's
true.
Yeah.
We have one of my most loved things that we do is the setting up before so in the old days, we used to say, come take this cow, come take this goat. We would go door to door. Do you want a toilet? Do you want this? Do you want that? We stopped.
Yeah.
It was very hard, Abha. After 3 years, we realized we were creating dependency. So we stopped. And our whole foundation came to a grinding halt, because I said, we cannot work like this. No more demand creation in this manner. Okay. And there was like this pause. Imagine a whole foundation not taking demand for almost 9 months. It was like it killed everybody, including me. But I said, we can't work like this. We cannot, So we created what it was called the Village Development Committee.
Okay.
The Village Development Committee is 5 men in the village, 5 ladies, and 2 of them have to be youth.
Okay.
So this is the composition, and they are in charge of their village. And we trained 1,000 of these committees. We've trained them. So if you see, there are 10,000 village volunteers created by us, in addition to the 1,000 for health. So, this is the whole ecosystem, and they take charge. We train them. They call a village meeting. They create the demand. Do you want a cow? Do you want... Imagine someone in your own village is sitting and debating. They debate, they argue, they decide, and they take charge. And after we had a celebration of 100 VDCs who were like just excellent. And these ladies who had never left their village performed a beautiful dance and sang in front of... We were more than 1,000 of us, because there were 100 VDCs. We were more, and then there was the Swades team. So we were in a large hall. I have a photograph of it. And we all started crying because it was so beautiful. And they said, we've never left our village, but now today we are here. And they danced and they celebrated,
That's
and
amazing.
On the way home from that same evening function, of course, we haven't done this for 2 years now, because in the lockdown, we can't have such large groups. So this was sometime 3 years ago, I think. We were coming home, and I saw another group of women carrying this big trophy they had worn on their head and going home. And so I stopped and I took pictures with them. And I said, what's happening? You're smiling from the ear to ear smiles. What's up? So they said it so beautifully in Marathi. They said, we're used to the drudgery of carrying water on our heads, but today we're carrying home a trophy.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I used to cry all the time, so I started crying.
Beautiful.
It was a precious moment.
I can imagine. That really does sound very moving.
It is very moving. And you'll go to a place, you won't believe, I went and sat with a group of men. Let us not say only nice things about women. But they were telling me, I mean, it was a VDC, but it was largely male at that meeting. The men were there. I don't remember where the women were. But in any case, what they said is they were very proud. The young boy, I said, so what's happening? We have these chats. We say, we talk. And they said, we are very proud of one thing. I said, what are you proud of? So they said, we're very proud of one thing. We got the road built by the government. I said, how did you do that? So they said, we thought for, 75 years, basically, they never had a road, right? And they said, now the election is coming. This is again about 2 years ago.
Right.
And they said, the election's coming. So we all sat and we thought, now the election's coming. Now we will go and tell that we will not vote unless you build that road. and they got the road sanctioned.
Fantastic.
And that village,
Mm.
I'm forgetting the name, but that village used to have massive factions. They used to fight. They never sat as a group. Spoke about the concept of unity in a village being the most important thing, and together we can do. And this concept really touched me. So there are many. They've done potholes of 5 kilometers of road. They've created sewing groups for ladies during the lockdown because there was no money. They had come back from Bombay. What can they do? So they come up with solutions. Now, everything is not rosy, Abha. Right now, I'm giving you those that touch my heart, but there are also those that break my heart because they just don't change. They don't want to change. They don't have the aspiration. And Abha, after many years, the community needs to be needy. They also need to be willing. If they are not needy and they're not willing, we will not work there. We try for a year.
Yeah.
If you're a new place, we try for a whole year. But if they're not willing to come forward and take ownership and have that, say that, okay, I will work for my own change of my community, then we cannot work in that village. So this is what we have learned. And this is what has touched me, that there are people who are willing to do it. One more thing I need to do a shout.
Of course. Yes.
Is the government on the ground at the grassroots level. Government servants doing a fantastic job. So inspiring. Our district collector at the moment, Nidhi, and the one before that, Dr. Suryavanshi. What? I mean, they were crazy. And the gentleman who is there now also, thorough, gentle. I mean, they're just amazing, inspiring people. And, you know, we were a little scared when we were a small NGO of working with the government. Now we work together. We have meetings together. It's a collaborative effort.
Thanks.
And I feel very proud of that because we have such wonderful people, and mostly they're very unsung, you know, at the ground,
of course, 100%.
Ground, you know, serving on the ground. That has been a very inspiring and beautiful experience for me.
And including women. Again, you mentioned Nidhi. So
yes.
You know, it's a reminder to us that there are all kinds of amazing women. Yeah.
Suryavanshi is amazing. The current collector is an amazing person, gentle person. I haven't been able to meet him, so I don't have a personal relationship with him.
Right.
Others were like, you know, we were friends by the end of it. I respect them so much, you know.
So, you know, I mean, we're a little running out of time, but I wanted to back in a couple of things. And just in case, by the way, just in case the link goes, just log back onto the same link. But like you said, it can be very difficult, right? And I think for those that want to make an impact and they don't know where to start, you know, even if they want to try at an individual level, it requires a lot of gumption. You know, everyone doesn't have it in them to leave everything and go off and join, like you said, a Teach for India for a year, 2 years, right? Like some people want to be able to do this, but, you know, in some way where they can manage it along with, you know, the rest of their commitments and responsibilities. Okay.
It can be done. Here, I would suggest you collaborate with someone you trust. Okay? You can start in your own home. You can start by educating your mates' children, and it brings a lot of satisfaction. You can get more involved. You can give money. That's a start. There's no harm. It's needed. So don't feel bad that, oh, I'm just giving money and it's not enough. Okay, it's a beginning. Start small, start local, start around you. Start with those around you. See what's needed around you. And if you open your eyes and if you have this desire to give, you will find so many people in need. You will find so many things you can do. You know, can you help with the, you know, separation of the trash in your building? There's so much you can do because the world has so many problems. So find one that resonates with you, and that's
okay. And you know, in terms of, you know, someone who's been, sorry, did I lose you there?
No, I'm here.
Sorry, I lost you in the middle. Go on. Yeah.
No, that's fine. I mean, basically go local, start small, stay involved. Yes. I think our link is, something's happening, right? You can hear me? I think our link has gone.
I think we lost Abha.
Abha, you're back?
I'm back.
Yeah, she's back.
Yes. Right.
Something is with
There we go.
Okay. Let's go to the last.
Sorry, I heard you said it's okay to start small and
small, local, and stay involved, because you won't get any satisfaction from just writing a check.
Got it. So, Zarina, you've been somebody who's been looked up to as a leader across, many verticals, as a businesswoman, in media, philanthropy, development, so many facets. Share with us, a message for so many of our aspiring young leaders. And they, like I was telling you, many of our members come from all parts of the country. They want to now, even the younger girls in their early 20s, they're aspiring to do so much more and aspiring to grow in order to help their own communities further. So share with us an inspiring, note for them, or just something they can take away and apply to their lives.
Absolutely. So I'm going to be a little naughty here. I don't like to bash men. No, not at all. But we have found that when we train young men and women in jobs, for jobs in the village, the boys usually run away, but the girls have the resilience and the self-commitment to keep going. And we have amazing success stories of that. We've been trained, sent all over. In eye care hospitals, they're working, myriad jobs. And the percentage of girls that have run away are almost zero, and the percentage of boys who have run away. So be proud of that. My main message for all of us as ladies is to be a lady. Don't try to imitate men in the corporate world. Why?
Oh, nice.
Yes, we have certain qualities which are so essential in the running of a business. We are highly intuitive. We are highly creative. We are highly collaborative. We are nurturing. We prefer a learning environment to an aggressive one. We think we are able to see the shades of gray in a situation, while men tend to see, now I'm generalizing, but for the sake of the answer, men tend to see things in black and white. Women tend to see the whole. Men tend to go in a linear manner, straight. This is the path, black and white, never get off the road. Women will get off the road to smell the flowers and see the birds. I'm just giving an example. A man will say, come on, let's go. We have to reach there and let's just get there. No, you have to enjoy the journey. You have to love the journey. That's what keeps you going. So bring everything that you have to the table. Don't be ashamed to be a woman in a corporate world. If the woman needs more leave because she's having a baby, give it to her. Let her have more leave. But don't lose her. Bring her back into the workplace when she's able. Do whatever you can to nurture that woman. ICICI Bank does that so beautifully. And, we should be proud that in the higher positions, my research tells me that women are doing very well in India, in the higher positions. Where we're not doing well is across the line, down the line. We need to work on that as a collective, as a community of women who care about other women. Not that we don't care about men, but yes, girls deserve an equal chance. But bring what it is to be a lady to the table.
That's beautiful. That's so well said. The girls, the ones who've joined in, anybody have a question for Zarina? We don't get this opportunity very often, so I'm just.
In fact, I would have loved to do a Zoom session with all your.
I know. So I'm just checking if anyone wants to jump in, even with video off. If you'd like to jump in, then you could do that. And you were saying something about ethics, Zarina, earlier. So maybe we can just close with that. Otherwise,
so I think a human being is an animal doesn't have ethics. Ethics is what defines a human being.
Got it.
And if we lose that, maybe we lose what it is to be a human being.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. What comes through in a lot of what you're saying today is, I don't know if the word is humanity or if it's, because it's about touching lives. It's about feeling it. So it's not about doing something for the sake of doing something. It's really about driving impact through resonating with what is the need of the hour, understanding what people require in order to improve their lives. And you're absolutely right. If they don't want to do it themselves, it's not going to happen. So it starts with awareness. It starts with that. And that's the most difficult of all.
To bring yourself to the
it's
table.
not tangible, and it's the biggest challenge.
Absolutely. You know, I think I want to say that what has really helped me to keep this perspective you're speaking about, and you've touched on it accurately, is my school of philosophy, which is called New Acropolis. So I have two loves of my life. One is philosophy and the other is philanthropy. And both really help me to, well, be better.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. It was really good speaking with you today. And I look forward to doing something with all our members and something on a bigger stage.
I love it, because when it's interactive, it's so much more fun, and they ask questions, and I love it. But I love interacting with you as well. It was beautiful.
Thank you. And I promise, give us a few months and we'll put something together.
It'll be lovely. I'd love to.
All right. Okay. Oh, hold on. I think Nandini is saying something. We'd love to meet you soon. So Nandini also does a lot of work in impact with her company, and she's also based out of Bombay. So we'll connect everyone at some point. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, ladies. Bye. Thank you.
Sabha.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.